Hello, dear friends. We're here waiting for you to get into this room with us while we talk to the ones who are getting in. Okay? We are here today, 15 cases of past lives. Day 14th. Yes, believe it or not. 15 days, and this is day 14th. Almost done with the beautiful book by Amália Domingos Soler. 15 of those cases published by Luis Rivas. Yes, he translated those 15 cases to Portuguese, and kindly, Carlos Diaz and Shane Martin they already translated. Yes, and soon be revised. We're revising it with the help of friends and will be released for publication. Meanwhile, we're here studying them. Why? Because there's no time to wait. We need more than ever these cases to know more about ourselves. And here we have our beautiful community getting in. Right, Jailton? Yes, Jailton, thank you so much for being so helpful, giving us feedback so we can refine and be more, up to date with all of you. Thank you. And here we have friends. Katia, how are you? I hope all's well. Andrea Torres, how is everything? Solange, how are you? Felipe, how are you, Felipe? Dear Jailton, Rita de Cássia, so good to have you guys here. It's really, really good. And Leo Vieira, it's good to have you here. Thank you. Sol Souza, how are you? Yes. Rihanna is in South Africa. And she, Nico, her husband, and others are starting the Spiritist group there. The one you're helping when you donate your Spiritist books. Trust us, you see the pictures of all the books that are being received, the monetary donations. Go to kardecradio.com and you see how you can participate in this campaign that lasts until July 4th. Okay? Yes, right. Karina. Beautiful Karina. Angelita, how are you? And Leia Severo, my dear Leia Severo. These are 15 cases of past lives for those who want a reference. It comes from the reports by Amália Domingos Soler. She was a Spanish spiritist who wrote several books, though she had vision problems and other health problems, financial constraints, etc. What a life. You can read more about her life in the Spiritist magazine, issue 30th. The Spiritist magazine is available to you free of charge. It's a trimestral periodical that is released thanks to several people who are making efforts, and it's in a way sponsored by the International Spiritist Council. And here we have Gary Correa and Mark Smith too. Thank you. And Ceisa, how are you? So I hope you can fix the system. Ivana, it's good to have you here. Now, if you want to read the Spanish version, you just go Hechos que Prueban, Google it, and you're gonna get the PDF. In Portuguese, the full version, Reencarnação e Vida. If you want a shorter version, 15 cases only, we have the book 15 Vidas Passadas. It's just translated into English, relayed to you here every night at 11 p.m. You may be asking, Vanessa, what's going to happen next after we finish? So tomorrow, Tuesday, May 23rd, we're going to finish this book, God willing. And what happens next? 10 days. 10 days in which we're inviting guests to be with us here, you see. And we're going to be working on peacemaking skills. Jesus Christ, our Master, Governor of the planet, guide and model, he said, blessed are the meek and the peacemakers, for they will inherit the earth. If we want to be on the earth when things are really getting better, because they seem chaotic, but this is the cleansing of the earth. That's why it's so chaotic. We are going through the ultimate tests in your life, and the spirit guides are like this. You are almost at the finish line of this graduation of the earth, and they're saying, go, continue, don't stop now, you're almost there, keep going, come on, no, don't stop now, no, you can see it, but the finish line is this close. And that's what we're doing here at 11 p.m. They are with us, reminding us that we need to acquire peacemaking skills. We need to refine them if we have them already. If we don't, it's about time, friends. Amália Domingo Soler is showing us in all of these cases that the greatest issues are lack of forgiveness. Forgiveness is part of peacemaking. Lack of tolerance. Lack of kindness. So we really need compassion. All of it belongs to the peacemaking skills, but we're going to relate to you not only messages, but through exercises. So in those 10 days, we're going to be working on it. And after those 10 days, God willing, we're going to be studying a book that is becoming in English. Voltei, by Irmão Jacob. Voltei. Voltei means I came back. A book that was psychographed through Chico Xavier, never translated, published by the Spiritist Federation in Brazil, but a must for all of us at this time. And the mentors have more plans after this. All we have to do is keep it all in mind, because it's a lot of work, but it's worthwhile. They are cheering us up, saying, keep going, don't quit, now, keep working, invest in your love for yourself, love for others. People are children of God, don't forget it, they are children of God. Invest in that, okay? You like it, Leah? I know. Voltei is really good. Hello, Soraya. Hello, Eric and Danny. Hello, hola, Lisdelia. How are you? Are we good? You feel warmed up? Me too. It's our warm-up, the gym of the soul. Now, this case is bittersweet, but at the end, it's a beautiful story. It's one of the cases that has a happy end. Finally, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. No, I'm not gonna sing now because the spirits have a lot to say here through Amália. Rudy. I just voted from Manhattan, running to be here. Good job, Rudy. Thank you, Carol Correa. We love you too. All right. The baby who was abandoned at the door of somebody's house. Amália begins her report by saying, "The spirits tell me that I must remain on earth despite my advanced age. My continuing illnesses and my constant struggle to survive in feeding my sick body. This is because I still have a right to write a lot, to comfort people, and to help all those who need me. Also, I must help these people who truly are thirst for truth when they ask for advice in spiritual light." Pause for a second. Did you see? This is what Jesus told us, selflessness. And I know many people who are spiritists, and they're like, "Oh, but I'm so tired. I'm working too much to help people. No, I need to think about myself. I'm not going to keep doing this work because it's really extenuating me." That's really the opposite direction of what the Christ consciousness teaches us. Amalia, she's not bragging about herself. She's kindly sharing with us that she's committed to us. Thanks to, see, she was sick. She was having financial difficulties, but she never stopped thinking about the people who were in worse conditions, who needed help. Pause for a second, friends. Hello, Adilson. Hello, Margaret. And Aline. Welcome, welcome. Now, let us think for ourselves. This is the first quiz of this therapeutic conversation. Where do you think you are regarding this measurement of your sacrifice, the thermometer of your sacrifice to the general good? I know some people who say, "I'm going to do this when my life is, easier." We've never heard this from Jesus. We actually have heard that if we really want to follow through the divine conscience, we need to work for the benefit of others always. Sick, not sick. Financial problems, no financial problems. Family problems, no family problems. But Vanessa, isn't that crazy? No, it's not crazy. When Kardec asked the spirits, and it's published in the Spirit's book, and in the Gospel according to Spiritism actually, is it considered suicide? In both books, you have different questions but the same answer. If you dedicate yourself to the point of sacrificing your life to the benefit of others, is this considered suicide? No. But the difference is you do it with love. So where do you think you are? Don't reply to me here, but let's think, all of us. There's always another level, right? I'm thinking for myself too, because the mentors are asking us, where are we? Amalia is giving us a model here. She's saying, I'm learning that we have to do this to help people. So she received the communication of a woman who was a spiritist. She wrote to Amalia, right? And André is saying God always helps us with financial and sickness if we give of the moments we have to others. After all, time is God's, not ours. It's a concession of God, right? Some people think time is money. Ben Franklin learned very easily when he became aware of the spiritist ideas, and he helped bring it forth to the earth, that time is actually God's, it's not money. And we are learning it. Time is not ours. Time is God's, a concession, a gift. Dear friend, through a cruel act, a newborn baby boy was placed in my hands. He was left at the door of my house on a cold day. He was abandoned at my doorstep in a cold day during last winter. I was very moved by such an important discovery, and for this reason at first I did not want to know about our spiritual bonds. Now, calmer and reflecting on this case, I come to ask you if you would have the kindness to search why I love this baby boy so much. When I believed myself alone and childless, this being appears with his smile to illuminate my life. He came to close the deep wounds of my heart, wounds caused by the hard blows of life. He came at the right time. This child came to me to receive my love. And my love, I would like your spirit guide to instruct me. What motivates me is not to satisfy childish curiosity, but to rectify the good intention of doubling my love for this little being. I'm willing to sacrifice myself for him, to succeed in raising him and instructing him in the comforting principles that feed us and hold us strong in the hard battle of life. Is this child a spirit in a trial? If so, Amalia, I will welcome him, even if it is for his spirit to purify mine. Did he come to pass on some message of the supreme law? Blessed be God in granting me this grace. If we are united by previous existences and providence has brought him to my lap, I'll be the most solicitous mother. My heart also feels the urgent need to exteriorize my pure and maternal feelings. How interesting that is. This child's mother, who has left him, depriving him of her maternal warmth, inspires me deep compassion, though I respect the motives for which she has been forced to give up her child. I'm anxious to know the answer. It's not curiosity that guides me, Amalia. It is because I feel that this boy is really mine. Yes, he's my son. I love him from the bottom of my heart. Just the report of this mother to Amalia is already making us feel so moved, right? How many people want to have children and they expect that their children are going to come through their own biological ways, but what does define a child? Being so connected to us. Go read the book And Life Goes On by André Luiz through Chico Xavier. That book tells us how deeply connected we are. Read the book 50 years later by Emmanuel, and you get to know that Celia, when she sacrifices herself to protect her mother, she embraces this baby boy that was just born, and she's expelled from her house. Who is the spirit that she's taking care of and feels so much affection? The one she loved. He discarnates and then reincarnates through another means, and she has to take care of the same spirit twice in one lifetime. And she feels so much love for that child that often dies very young. But she loves him so much. And we, the reader, through Emmanuel, know that that is the same spirit that is the love of her life. You may be asking, why does a child has to go through that? The abandonment of the parents. Orphanage. Why? Foster care. Here we may be getting to know more. Liz Daly is kindly asking, What is the name of the book you just mentioned? My oldest is adopted and we have many struggles. And Life Goes On by Andrea Lewis, the same author of the book Nosso Lar, Our Home, and Life Goes On. It's already in English. You can go to Odyssey of America or Amazon.com and get your copy. It's psychographed by Chico Xavier. At the end of the book, you're gonna get to know read the whole book, because it's a story and you see how they are deeply connected. You want another book about adoption? Sex and Destiny. Sex and Destiny by Andrea Lewis through Chico Xavier. In between the story, you understand why a child comes in the life of this family. She's basically adopted, and the previous life's connections that she has with the family members. Then we understand more. Tonight, I think the story is very sweet. Very sweet. Hello, Leonor Pacheco and Fred Gouveia. How are you? Tia Hebe. Beijo. Okay, so here we have it. You're gonna adore the story. Thank you, Amalia, for sending this to us. She says, naturally, I was very interested in the content of this message. And when I had the opportunity, I asked the Spirit Guide for a clarification on the subject. And this is what the Spirit revealed to her. Okay? So, Liz Delia, 2 books. And Life Goes On. 1 book. 2nd book, Sex and Destiny. 3rd book, 50 Years Later. After I finish here, I'll type it in a message to you about the titles, just in case, okay? Already then, what does the Spirit Guide of Amalia Domingo Soler says? We need to hear, because as Kardec says in the Medium's book, if we receive messages from the spirits and we don't follow through, then we are not only wasting their time, but wasting our time. So let us observe the lessons in this. Right, Carol Correa? You're deeply touched. Me too. I see, the Spirit Guide of Amalia says, that people continually ask questions about interesting topics, Amalia. And you, Amalia Domingo Soler, with the best of intentions, come to us, establishing a direct communication between the living and the dead. These communications between the 2 worlds have existed through eternity. However, now they have come better known, thanks to the progress made in all different classes. Therefore, the contact with the beyond lost its ancient superiority. We hope, friends. He is going to tell here, I'm not going to read it all, but just some highlights. He says that more and more it leaves this idea about the initiates, the divine mysteries, descending from its high pedestal, where the priests in their temples kept these revelations with the spirits. Now there is, he says, this direct relationship between the so-called living and the so-called dead is very necessary. Okay? It's very necessary. We need to be disciplined, committed, like Emmanuel told Chico. You want to help as a medium? Discipline, discipline, discipline. Discipline of emotions, discipline of thoughts, discipline of the use of your time, discipline of what you eat, discipline of what you do in your life, of your vibration emissions. You know, when you have a car, you have to yearly do this emissions test to see if you're not polluting the air with your car. But there will be a day on the earth in which we will evolve so much that we'll do emissions tests too, but vibrationally. Seriously. Question for us. How much do you think you're polluting the air, the spiritual atmosphere of the earth with your thoughts and feelings? Scale 0 to 10. 10 being very pollutant, and 0 like not pollutant at all. Where do you think you are? Let me think. Where do I think I am? Oh, mamma mia. That's not good. Because I emit thoughts, feelings, words, actions, vibrations, creating spiritual fluids, as Kardec says in the book Genesis. And other people are absorbing those emissions, connecting. So is it worthwhile boosting your will, changing the course of these conditionings? Yes. Seeking the good? Yes. Feeling the good? Yes. And what else? Visualizing the good, boosting the department of imagination. Don't be shy, let it shine. How do you think Mark Zuckerberg got where he is? How do you think Walt Disney got? People think it's just like this. Oh, they are genie and they have spirit friends that help them. No. André Luiz says in the book, Evolution into Worlds, we evolve through effort and repetition. When you see the genie of humanity, you bet. It's the outcome and the result of maybe centuries, millennia of effort of both realms and repetition. Michael Phelps, considered the greatest Olympians, the swimmer, he didn't achieve what he achieved just because the spirits push him in the water saying, go Michael Phelps, shh, magic, no, waking up, swimming in the swimming pool when the days are hot, in the swimming pool, dun, dun, dun. Yeah, swimming. And the same for us. We need to make effort. If you master anything already, God is asking you to go another level, to refine it even more. So there's no boredom, right? You see, the recipe against boredom and laziness is to always think, law of progress. There's always another level. Oh, I know how to cook, but there's always another level. Oh, I know how to write. There's always another level of writing. Oh, I know how to sing. There's always another level of singing. Oh, I know I'm good at dealing with people. There's always another level. Boosting ourselves to another level. But the question is, am I polluting the air with my thoughts and feelings? Hello, Cesar. Hello, Giovanna. Thank you, Eric and Jailton, for your feedback. Now, the mentor of Amália Domingo Soler is saying here, everyone one day will talk to their discarnated relatives and their loved ones directly, without mediums. And he says how, why, etc. That's another story. But that's the direction. So, don't be afraid. Study mediumship. Before you say, I want to practice, no, study. Like a doctor. Oh, I want to help people operating. No, please go study. Practice. Train yourself. Don't go to do anything without study. That's why the Spirit said we need to love one another and instruct ourselves. Right? Thank you, beautiful Solange, for helping us. You're saving my time. Thank you. Though I love writing to Liz Delia because she has an adorable family, and for me, she is a super mom. Okay? I know a few super moms. She's one of them that inspire me every day. And you may be asking, Vanessa, what about the baby that was abandoned? Don't blame me. Don't shoot the messenger, because look, the spirit guides spend half the psychography to remind us of the importance of these revelations, of communicating with the spirits. Believing everything? No. But cherish the exchange. Use the reasoning. As Kardec says in the Medium's book, if you feel something mediumistic, you observe the facts first, and then you analyze the language. To observe the facts, you needed to be objective. I remember when I was taking my course in psychology, before I graduated, and one of the teachers was teaching us, and later as a scientist when I did my PhD, I had to refine it. How to observe more objectively the facts of life and nature. Oh, this room is beautiful, Nat. That's subjective. The room is painted white. Okay. The room is shaped like this. Oh, the room is cozy. No, that's subjective. So you observe the facts. Oh, the spirit brought me this message, this moment when I was asking this, when I was crossing the street, and that made me feel this. You're outlining facts as if you're writing a report about the facts. And then we analyze what they said. And then, of course, in a consensus with other people, we can more clearly reach the substance of the message and move forward. Right, Patricia? Thank you, my friend. Now, what about the baby that was abandoned at this woman's doorstep and whom she loved very dearly? This woman, who dreamed of being a mother, asked us if the child who was left at the door of her house was part of her past. We can say yes. This child was, in another incarnation, flesh of her flesh, blood of her blood. How beautiful is this? That today an adopted child is the reincarnation of a child that was of your blood in a previous life. Think about this. In the book Heaven and Hell by Kardec and the Spiritist Magazine by Kardec, we know the case of a man who has a slave. And the slave is very dear to his heart, but he dies when he is like a young adult. And then Kardec asked the spirits, why does this family and the slave have such an interaction? Why are they so close? And the revelation from the spirits say, in a previous life, this servant that is adored by all, he was actually a person connected to the family, son of the man, but he didn't know how to use the resources of the father. So he asked to come as the servant of his father, so he could give back what he took away. How many bosses, like, boss in a company, have employees that are like almost family? But there's an employee that feels prone to serving the boss. Who knows if in a previous life, like this servant that Kardec mentions, they were the children who misused the fortune of their parents, and now they come as employees to give back to the previous father or mother in that company what they've taken away, but through bonds of affection. Isn't that beautiful? It's wonderful. In the last existence, This lady who received this baby, she was a noble woman, and she was seduced by a man, but he was committed to another woman, and she was pregnant. She then didn't know what to do, so she talked to her older brother, and he was feeling pity for her, so he took her to a charity institution. She went through her whole gestation in the mountains, gave birth to the baby, and then they took the baby to charity. She went desperate because she wanted to keep the baby, but she was not allowed. And actually, the rest of the time she spent on the earth in that incarnation, she cried so much and died in a terrible condition, longing for the baby. When she got to the spiritual realm, she promised to be the guide of that spirit, and she committed to being with him forever. So this child, but now we understand the mother. Now what about the child? Why does the child need to go through this experience? This child is expiating. Expiation. If you want to read more, it's in part 1 of the book Heaven and Hell. In the Gospel according to Spiritism too, but mostly in the Heaven and Hell, there is a clear explanation there. Expiation is like atonement. Some people call it karma, right? This child, in fulfillment of his expiation, suffered several incarnations, the abandonment of the various mothers he had. In fact, he needed to be loved by an act of charity and compassion. He was not worthy of quiet rests in the arms of a loving mother because of his actions in the past. It's just the law of action and reaction. I know it's hard, but we learn by experiencing it. And now we're gonna cherish being with a mother. In this present existence, this baby was abandoned, and the person who found him was a creditor of motherhood. In a previous reincarnation, she could not be a mother only during her gestation, but today the higher spirits deliver to her the child of yesterday so that her soul can enjoy the indescribable delights of motherhood. And it is so true. And I say this with tears in my eyes because we're living at a time on the earth when motherhood doesn't make you any popular, unfortunately. Okay? We're living at a very strange time on the earth in which being a mother becomes like you're getting a degree, but then you give your child to somebody else so they can raise your kid. But when you really cherish the mission, as the spirit guide of Amalia is saying, it's indescribable, the delights of motherhood, though the sacrifices, but it's sacrifice of love. In the book Living Spring by Emmanuel, he talks about the debts of love we have. You know, debts of love. What do you owe me? Love. Oh, what do I owe you? Love? Okay, I'm gonna give you love. Debts of love. So we need to practice it. I know cases of mother and children who had issues from previous lives to be worked upon thanks to Spiritism. They came to terms with those frictions of the past. They worked consciously thinking. I know the case of a mother and a daughter. You know, like frictions, but there was a time in which tired of those frictions and willing to love and overcome thanks to the Spiritist awareness. After 40 some years, they really became good friends, supporting one another. Right, Carol? She's saying, I feel the love and the love feels good. Exactly. Thanks to the Spiritist awareness, we can overcome obstacles, vibratory frictions in love. Mentor Joseph was teaching me the other day. He said, Vanessa, think about this person and visualize when you're already overcoming that obstacle. Visualize yourself with this person already at another level, because you're destined to be together, united. All of us, we are, but we need to visualize it. The past is in the past. Let it go, let it go. We need to learn to let go, but we can only let go when we let God, and God is love. God is good, God is love. God is everything. So the Spirit Guide says she deserves to be a mother. So she has recovered her son. In her unconscious, she always called him in her dreams, as well as in her waking hours. For many years, she visited orphans and dedicated herself to countless defenseless children. Now, it was time to reap what she had planted. May she love the little baby entrusted to her, so that she can guide him, educate him, and instruct him. May she enjoy the good time, for protecting children is the most meritorious action and the most that can magnify the spirit. Amalia then says, wow, these are her words. Of course, in Spanish, right? What a moving and interesting story. The generous woman who gathered in her arms the little castaway of the sea of life, at the mercy of the waves of superficial charity, which only keeps the children alive, so as not to let them die of hunger. If it were not for the love of this woman, the boy would have died before the rocks. Blessed are the souls who know how to love. Right? I know. That's how we feel. This is the story of our lives. Blessed are the souls who know how to love. How much do we know to love? We're learning. But can we do 24-hour focus on this? Blessed are those who love. Let's love more in the next 24 hours. Especially those whom we have differences. Starting by sending them beautiful thoughts. Sending them words of forgiveness. Trusting their divine nature. Shall we, friends? Telling them in our thoughts and feelings, you are a child of God. You've reincarnated to learn to do good. We are children of God. We deserve another chance. Let us invest in love. It is worthwhile, because love is God. Right? I love and approve of myself, Rudy, right? In ways that are pleasing to God. Loving ourselves, accepting others, and making peace. Reconciling deeply so we can inherit the earth. Not only the planet, but the earth, the peace of conscience. Shall we, friends? You're feeling the love? Blessed are those who know to love. Let us boost it in the 24 hours. Tomorrow we will, God willing, come back. And when we come back, the last case, 15 cases of past lives. And it's all about boosting the love inside of us. Have a beautiful day or night, wherever you may be. So be it. Thank you, Carol and friends.